أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We seek refuge with Allah alone. We thank Allah, we praise Him, your Creator and my Creator is the same one, the one. All men, all women, boys, girls, birds of the air, fish of the sea, and all other creatures, we as Muslims, and believing Muslims at that, believe that Allah is the one personal name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say, Hu Allah, that He is Allah. He is Allah. And that we are thankful to be able to be at a point in our lives where we really know God, and that we know Allah is there for us. We know it. No guesswork. And you should know it. No guesswork. That Allah is Al-Khaliqu Kulli Shay'in. That He is the creator of everything we see. This is a mindset that believers must have. That nothing else is going to distract me. I don't know if he got permission to record that, did you? Did you ask? Okay. You thought about it? Okay. Alright. You talked to me about it? Yeah. Okay, alhamdulillah. I didn't know we had a conversation. So alhamdulillah, we said, I trust you. I said that. Alhamdulillah. So Allah is independent of His creation. Oh, I really want you all to relax. Life is not that stressful. This is the Baytullah. This is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you can feel comfortable or relaxed anywhere, it should be Baytullah, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I'm talking about Allah, I'm speaking about Allah. I want to elaborate and expand on this because everybody, you know, we seek refuge in different places with different people. You know, seek refuge with situations, situations that make us feel safe. Where is the place that makes you feel more safe? Or you know that you're in a safe place? Now Allah, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have you found that place in your own self? You have to spend time in the core of your own being. Like when you pray and you know that you made that contact, you said, yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm in this prayer right here. And sometimes tears may come into your eyes. Even the big Atlas men with the big muscles, they cry because they're in touch with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah is what they call omnipresence, a big name, meaning that He's everywhere. Omnipresent, that's an English term. It's okay. But Allah is everywhere at the same time and in touch with everything at the same time. Who Allah? And He is the creator, al-khaliqu, and the rest, everything else is khalqan, creation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala freed up the human being to be able to think freely about stuff. I'm just talking in plain language. Think freely about this, think freely about that. I'm talking in plain language. And Allah is so merciful that He wanted the human being to see more than the rest of His creation, to hear more than the rest of His creation, basically fundamentally, and to understand more than the rest of the creation. So he gave the human being an extraordinary set of circumstances where he was able to think in a broad, or he evolved to be able to think in a broad sense. And you know, I be watching people, bro. I say, man, who a Muslim? He's a Muslim. But he's not happy. Anyone who believes in Allah in the last day, and I'll do it's not a stretch, but it's something that we need to come into as believers. Don't you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has people that believe that don't have the tag Muslim on them? There's people who believe, they just don't know like you know. I know, but they just don't have that tag on them that says, and I'm Muslim, I'm Muslim. But in reality, they've tapped into the naturalness of their creation. And they have not perhaps found precise Quran. They may not have found Quran precisely. But they have come into a development in their biological and their psychological and spiritual development that lets them tap into what we call the fitr, the original nature that's inside, you see. And there's a lot of ears right now, perhaps maybe listening or whatever, scanning or scoping or whatever people do, you know, that there's a lot of people that are in a state where they will accept Quran. You know, people in your fraternity, people on the job, your associates on the job and places like that. They're already in the mode to accept Quran. They're already in that mode. All we have to do is put it out there. Put it out there as clear and plain as possible. And you will see that there is a beautiful thread, a golden thread of haqq, of truth, that go between the person that says, I am a follower of Isa alayhi salam. I'm a follower of Isa. Okay. Well, let's travel. Let's go together there. Let's talk about it. Are you really a follower of Isa alayhi salam? Isa alayhi salam, he said, the one that has been sent is not as great as the sender. Now I want to say this again. He said that. This is recorded in the Injil. Okay. Well, based upon how people believe, then here's in that language Jesus the Lord saying that He sent Himself. That's not possible. The one that is sent, and He was talking about Himself in the Injil, in the Bible, is not as great as the sender. Clear up this atmosphere. Clear up this belief system. Because we're not just speaking to Muslims, we're speaking to Muslims, Jews, Christians, everybody. We're speaking to everybody. Rasulullah ﷺ was and is the messenger lil alameen, to the whole world. He wasn't a messenger to the Muslims, the Arabs. He's a messenger to the whole world. To tell the whole world who Allah, that He is Allah, huwa al-khaliqu kulli shay'in wa huwa al-qudus, huwa ar-rahim, huwa ar-rahman, huwa al-qudus, huwa ar-rahman, that He is the holy, the pure, untouched by any part of His creation. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Think about this. You believe in a Lord, you believe in the Lord that has never been blemished by anything, has never touched anything to be corrupt. And I'm going to elaborate on this more, then I'm going to pause, because we're speaking about Allah, and I thought about that. I said maybe it would be a good approach to tell the people about Allah a little bit more. Dig in, get into the hikmah of Quran, hikmah of that has been given by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu about who it is that we're praying to. We're not ritualistic people that just believe in some religious life of yesteryear. This is not yesteryear religion. This is not old religion or whatever they want to call it. Outdated religion. No. This is pristine revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala min Jannah, min al-Jannah, from heaven. And that's where ultimately we all want to wind up or be in. Even with that, we want to be qareeb lillah, closer to Allah, and to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen. All of these different fads in the world and all of these things, please listen. All of this stuff, it's okay, enjoy a little bit of it, as long as it's halal. Take in a game of whatever, bowling, or take in a game of billiards or whatever, as long as it's fair, as long as the environment is conducive to you as a good human being. Go to places, alhamdulillah, and enjoy your life, you and your family, enjoy your life, live the life. But don't step beyond the limitations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set up in this Quran. So we thank Allah. Alhamdulillah. And this would not be possible, what we're doing right here, basically and fundamentally, unless we acknowledge the one who had the capabilities to hold revelation from God. Revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His body, his biology went through some changes when he began to receive revelation from God, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah had already preconditioned him to hold that came from heaven. Al-Quran Kareem came from heaven, came from Allah. It's the word of Allah. Kalam min Allah, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is not a lightweight issue here. It's not a lightweight subject, brothers and sisters. It's a heavyweight subject. It's a heavy subject. And we should think about this subject often. So where did I come from? Allah created you and me. What am I supposed to be doing? He gave us the design of what we're supposed to be doing in the Quran. The Quran is the blueprint for our actions, the limitations, and those things that are accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the framework. That's how we operate in life within those boundaries. So we thank Allah for our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In this world, they would call him, man, he's a bad man. They use that vernacular, But if anybody wanted to be, wants to be a real man in this world, I advise you as I advise myself, follow Muhammad. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even if you're a Christian, have an experience. Do an experiment. Follow Muhammad for 7 days. Follow Muhammad for 7 days. Practice the way that Muslims pray for 7 days. Practice the way that Muslims eat. They get away from pork for 7 days. Practice that. Do an experiment on your own biology, psychology, and your spirituality, and see, won't you become eventually, when you look back on those 7 days, you'll say, I moved up a notch in my intellectual perception. I feel better biologically because I'm eating better, I'm watching my health, and my clarity of my spiritual world, my spiritual life, it makes me feel so good. Allahu Akbar. So this is da'wah, brothers. Those of us who are in the Jumah now, this is da'wah. Da'wah is propagation, promotion. So it's not normal for Muslims to give da'wah to each other. You hear me, right? It's a different thing. Because Muslims are supposed to already know who Allah is, what the Quran is. Supposed to already know that. You're supposed to, I shouldn't have to tell you, to believe in Allah. You already believe. But the propagation is, let me share this knowledge with, yes, us among ourselves, but we also are to promote what God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has given us to the broader world, to the broader extremities, the broader society, the bigger world, the bigger society. Don't sew yourself into a bubble and think that you can't operate as a human being outside of that bubble. Well, you're living in a world that's an alien world if you're doing that. You don't want to communicate with non-Muslims. You don't want to go outside the house and speak to a person that don't believe like you. What kind of Muslim are you? Prophet Muhammad never did that. He always was courteous and cordial with people. He always was hospitable to individuals, his neighbors, people that he met, countrymen who came to visit him. And he never made a big hoopla about who he was, but he told the people, told his own family when he first began his mission, peace be upon our Prophet, he told his own family, look, if I told you that there was an army gathering to make war against you, would you believe me? You remember that, right, in the seerah. Would you believe me? He said, yeah, who you? You Elohim, man. We know you. We used to play ball with you, shoot marbles with you, play basketball with you. And I'm using a metaphor here. We used to spend time with you in the hood, man. You say, well, he said this. Well, let me tell you this, fellas. I am the messenger of God. What? Oh, what did he do that for? SubhanAllah. Then the trials began for him because he was representing not per se the people that had position in the community, not even in his own tribe, the Quraysh, tribe of Quraysh. There's much we can say about this stuff. But I want to keep it real. I want to keep it relative to you. I don't want to leave you and, we could go off on a tafsir, man. Look, some of these tafsirs, and you already know that, some of these tafsirs so deep, probably half of you go to sleep before I finish giving tafsir of half of an ayat, 3 words in an ayat. Why? Because in order to understand the Quran, I am not to be, and we are not to be distracted. You can't be distracted and you're looking at the Word of God. But you allow small things to distract you. Don't do that. Practice concentration on the kalam of Allah. Practice, focus on the words of Allah. 1, 2, 3, whole ayat, 3 words, 4 words at a time. So yeah, I got it. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Focus. What? What did he say? Read in the name of your Lord who created. Oh, well, I can't introduce myself and say, I want to read in my name. See, that's what people will do. See me, I'm doing this in my name. Do nothing in your own name, basically, fundamentally, on the front end. Acknowledge Allah on the front end of the business deal. Allahu Akbar. Is this truth or not? I'm telling you the truth, man. You acknowledge God, the one who created you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, look at my servant. My servant is acknowledging me. It's Allah. And He will open the doors for you one by one. Open the doors for you wherever you go. It almost like, see, I don't believe where I am right now based upon where I was 6-7 years ago. I can't. It's hard to believe. Why? Because Allah is in your hand when you touch the deal. He's in your pen when you write and sign the contract. Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. May Allah accept the first talk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلا صراط المستقيم. Translation. And know that Allah, we mentioned this before, I want to mention it again. Know this, Allah is inviting you to what? Well, what didn't you know about the religion? See, I've been Muslim for many years. Okay, alhamdulillah. But Allah is yad'u, meaning that He did not invite you once. He's always inviting you to more of what He has to give you. Allahu Akbar. And He's always inviting you to more of what He has to give you. Because as you know, I know, definitely as a student of the Quran and the teacher of Quran and Arabic language, there's always fresh water, fresh knowledge. That's what keeps everything so interesting. New knowledge attached to the knowledge that you already had. That's what the growth of knowledge is, and that's what, alhamdulillah, leads a person to become a Hakim, Abdul Hakim. A person who serves Allah in a wise way, as opposed to one who mimics knowledge, who talks about knowledge. This is some knowledge, let me give you this is knowledge about this. That's good. But more importantly and more palatable to the intellect is the hikmah, the wisdom. That's what gets people continuously coming to the Quran and coming to you to have a conversation with you, because they know you're special. But what's making you so special? You're special, brothers and sisters, all of you, because you're in touch with the message that was given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the last transmission from God to man. That is the Quran, the Holy Quran Kareem. Allahu yad'u illa dar salam. He's inviting you to the abode of peace. So, Imam, can we come into this peace while we're walking around on this earth with all this chaos that's going on in Washington, D.C. and around the world, and all of these skirmishes and all these tribes fighting each other in different parts of Africa, and people want to take somebody's land and buy a whole continent? You know what I'm talking about? Yes, you can have peace on earth. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Certainly inside of the Prophet is the uswa, the siwat. We got to find this. If I follow Muhammad, I got to find this. What is the siwat, Imam? The siwat. The siwat is your innermost self. Stop looking so much outside all of the time. Look inside sometimes. Matter of fact, you should look inside and concentrate on Allah more than you look outside and concentrate on the things that are outside that distract you from God, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are distractions. The distractions that take you away from the proper actions. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. The distractions take you away from proper actions as a believer. Oh, what are the proper actions? Read the Quran. Those are the proper actions. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Have they not contemplated the Quran? Have they not looked at the Quran? Have they not tied one on, as they say, put the Quran in their chest, in their heart, and say, I'm going to follow this, I'm going to put it to the test again. And then you, and I have to say this is no, I'm not flexing, you know what I mean. You follow Muhammad? You read the Quran, and you follow Muhammad, you're doing the best you can, then I say you are becoming the Quran. You are becoming the Quran. If you follow Muhammad, you read the Quran, right? You love Allah, yes? You read the Quran, yes? You try to do the best you can be, yes? Okay, well now you are becoming the Quran. That is the sunnah of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to become what he became. Not become a robot that you think, oh, I am Muhammad. No, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, you are you, and you're following the pattern that was laid out in the Quran by Allah for His Prophet. So as a pattern that was laid out from Allah for the Prophet, so too is that pattern laid out for you in the Quran. La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, well, with all this chaos, Imam, can we have peace in this world? Yes, you can have peace in this world, as long as you follow the one who sent the message to the one who is designated to give us the example of how to live our life in the world. Live your life in the world. So Isa alayhi salam, he said the same thing. These are connections between revelatory knowledge, religious philosophy, if they want to use these terms. Isa alayhi salam, he said, I and you and me. So, wait a minute now, I thought you were the Lord. You're the Lord, and then you sent yourself, and then you claim that you're not as great as a sender, and now you're saying, I'm in you and me. What is this all about? So we have to get clarity in the language that we expose ourselves and our children to. The next generation of Muslims, and I'll say even the next generation of Christians, the next generation of Jews, Yahud, they're not going to be like these people, many of these people in the present world. These children don't have those problems. They communicate. Watch them in some of these circles, in the universities especially. Those who have not been bitten by the venom of shaitan. Watch them how they communicate with each other, different denominations of people. Youth as they're interchanging knowledge and sharing information about media and how to cooperate with one another as human beings. That next generation is not going to be like this one. Because they're not going to take no for an answer. They know what injustice is. They know what injustice is. And they know injustice when they see it, just like you and I do. But sometimes we don't speak out. We just talk about it over the coffee table. Talk about it in the tafsir class. We talk about it, but we don't be about it because we don't take our voices outside of the masjid and outside of the churches and outside of the synagogue. So Satan, in a sense, he tries to hem you into your religious places and make you heap yourselves on one another. This is also in the Quran too. They heap themselves on each other because nobody is doing anything and everybody is frustrated. So they start looking for something. I know he got to fall somewhere. Let me see. Let me see. His mustache is crooked. Yeah. Okay. What else is wrong with this man? That's so petty. We should be about establishing Muslim community life. Establish a good family life first, or individual life. Establish a good family life then. And then establish a good jama'ah, a good group. that loves Allah and want to be among those brothers. We're not running a 100-yard dash here. This is a marathon. This is for life. And I hope and pray to Allah that the mature brothers, mature sisters in the masjid understand that. This is no game we're playing. We love Allah. We love Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I have to tell you, and we underscore that, and we put another whole paragraph, we love Jesus. So people would say, you all love Jesus too? Of course. We say, amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasulih. All of his messages, we love all of them. Allahu Akbar. I'm sorry for holding you so long. Please forgive me. I ask Allah to forgive me, and I ask you to forgive me as well. Wallahu yad'u illa dar as-salam wa yahdi man yasha. So people are looking for guidance. I want guidance. You get guidance from Allah. You don't get guidance from the sheikh, so to speak. You get guidance because the sheikh or sheikha gives you the knowledge where it's clear enough so that you can understand what the sheikh understood. And so the sheikh becomes the conduit, becomes the cable that the knowledge comes through to come to you. And you respect the sheikh or the teacher for giving you that knowledge. But that does not make the sheikh the ultimate source. You respect the source, but he's not the ultimate source. Allah is the ultimate source. So don't limit your growth and your development. Put perimeters on your growth and your development by going down a rabbit hole of education that has to do with one person other than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see that? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Have they not contemplated on the Quran? Have they not contemplated on the Quran? وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَّا دَارِ السَّلَامِ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ إِلَّا صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And Allah invites all human beings, making a difference what denomination, unto the abode of peace, and guides him that he wills to be guided. If guidance would come to some people, they would take that guidance and try to benefit themselves individually. That's the reason why Allah don't give guidance to everybody. He gives guidance yatasha'u, to whom He pleases. You see that? And Allah is saying, and He guides whom He wills onto the straight way. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنتَ الْوَهَّابُ. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. آمين. إقامة الصلاة. May Allah accept this khutbah. May He accept our salah. Inshallah.